Let's make a Brussels sprout casserole. Welcome back to the Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show, where we make plant-based cooking easy. I'm Jill, and today we're making Brussels sprout casserole, which is great for these cool evenings. It's such a comforting dish. We're just going to jump right in. The printable recipe link will be in the details below. I've got one whole onion here diced that we're going to start sauteing. And I'm going to saute our mushrooms and red bell peppers with it. Because when you saute mushrooms with your onions, as the mushrooms cook, they're going to release some of their juices, and that helps to keep the onions from sticking, because we're not going to use any oil. And if it does start to stick just a little bit, just pour a little bit of water or vegetable broth and it'll come right off. So this is 8 ounces of mushrooms, and then 1 red bell pepper. We're just going to saute these until they're fully cooked and the onions are just lightly brown. Okay, our onions and mushrooms are about done. But before we go on, if you're liking the show and enjoy this video, please give it a like, because it really does help the show get out there to more people. All right, so we're going to stick in our 3 cloves of garlic, minced garlic, and 2 teaspoons of parsley. And then for the Brussels sprouts, this is 2 pounds of Brussels sprouts, which sounds like a lot, but they really do cook down, and it will make a casserole that'll be good for a few days, so you won't have to cook every day. It's great. I just cut the ends off, and then these were pretty big Brussels sprouts, so I cut them into quarters. But if they're smaller Brussels sprouts, I would just cut them in half. And Brussels sprouts are such a great vegetable to eat at this time of year, because they are just loaded with vitamin C. And because there's so many viruses going around right now, this is something you really should get into your diet. So we're going to just stick it all in the pan. And I'm going to put a cup of water in here. And we're just going to continue to let it cook a bit for about, I would say about 10 minutes, just to kind of soften up the Brussels sprouts. And we're going to put a lid on it too and just let it simmer for a little bit before we mix in our creamy sauce, which is next. While we're waiting for that, I'd like to share some background on our show. The Whole Food Plant-Based Cooking Show is crowd-funded, which means these free weekly recipe videos, along with our entire catalog of free printable recipes on our website, plantbasedcookingshow.com, and our Plant-Based Cooking Made Easy cookbook series, are all made possible in part by the generous patronage of our supporting membership community. So if you love our recipes, I invite you to join us on our mission to make plant-based cooking easy, and follow the link in the description to become a supporting member today. There's no denying the plant-based diet is a nutrient powerhouse, but did you know there are a handful of hard-to-get nutrients even well-crafted diets are often lacking? The latest research suggests that complementing your diet with a few specific vitamins, minerals, and omega-3s will help boost your energy and keep you thriving for the long term. That's why my daily health routine includes Complement Essential. Complement Essential contains the 8 critical nutrients lacking from most plant-based diets in dosages optimized specifically for us. As a special discount for our viewers, just use code PLANTBASEDEASY at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Okay, now on to the delicious sauce that's just going to glue it all together. So I've got a cup of silky tofu, 1/3 of a cup of sunflower seeds, a 1/2 cup of unsweetened soy milk, and you can use whatever plant milk you like, but I would always stress that it's unsweetened, a 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast, 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of a spicy mustard, or you could use Dijon, any kind of mustard you like really. It's just going to give it kind of that punchy flavor. 1 tablespoon of a low sodium tamari, the juice of 1 lemon, or if it's a really large lemon, just half of that. So it probably equals out to about a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half. Go. And then 1/2 cup of water. Now you're just going to blend this up until it's really nice and creamy. All right, there we go. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to grab a large bowl, a casserole dish, and our veggies. All right, so all that's left is for us to mix this together and get it into the oven. I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And this recipe came about from our supporting members. I let them vote, or I give them some choices on things that I'm interested in making, and then I let them vote on what they would like to see me make. And I'm always surprised by what they vote on. And that makes it so fun for me. And this was the winner for last month. So supporting members, here's your recipe finally. All right, so we're just stirring it together really well. And then we're gonna pour it in our casserole dish. And this is just, it's like a 9x9 casserole dish, a couple inches deep. And it's gonna be very full. But you could, if you had a 9x13, that'll work too. It just won't be, as deep, obviously. All right, get all of that sauce in there. All right, so now we're gonna stick this into the oven for 40 to 45 minutes. All right, guys, it is out of the oven if you wanna come in and take a look. It may not be the most pretty dish in the world, but boy, is it tasty. So I'm gonna let this cool for a few minutes and then I'll meet you at the table for a taste. All right, here we go. Let's go in. Oh, it's still so hot. You see that steam coming off of it? Mmm. That's hot. Mmm. It's so delicious. Come on back next week for another great recipe.